very much for attending, taking the time out of your Saturday morning to share it with us and go over where we've been and where we're going. Kind of on the panel here is Beth Pine, our current president, myself, Tim Hoven, our legislative liaison, Brandon and Larry, our executive team. We're having our meeting because it gives us a chance to share with you what we've been doing collectively over the past year and express the direction we are planning to go, but to give you a chance to provide us some feedback and help correct our course if it should need it. We do want to make this as interactive as possible. Obviously, webinars have limited capacity with that. So Brandon will be giving you the directions again. And at the end, we will send out a survey. So please let us know how we can improve upon things. The agenda this morning is we'll review our past year, our activities, our achievements. We'll induct our new officers and elect our officers and directors, acknowledge and induct our new fellow recipients, go through the coming year's strategic plan, discuss the dues increase for this year, and then call for resolutions. So I'm going to turn it back over to Brandon for some of the housekeeping.
Again, I think I'll stop. I mentioned before, you guys are all on mute. I see a couple of you have raised your hands on and off. So we saw those. We got a couple that were just testing it out. So it works. We saw those. If you have any questions, please raise your hand. Please type that into the question box, and we'll get back to you. Again, for voting, some things later on. Polls will pop up on your screen at the appropriate time, and we'll get those taken care of.
Whoops. So once again, too many computers here. We're a knowledge-based decision-making organization. We really do rely on input from our members. And we've been around for 75 years. We have 2,900 members. We have almost 84% of the market share, which is wonderful. We generally work on a 3-year strategic plan, and we're currently in 2 years of that plan. Our focus has always been on providing member value. We're going to provide some of the highlights, and then we'll review some of the submitted questions or discuss areas of focus, and then provide an opportunity for some questions. Beth, do you want to share some of our activities we've done through the past year under your excellent guidance?
I believe that we'll be talking about some of them along the way. So maybe we should just go through these slides and then we'll get them caught up that way.
Yeah, so our first area of focus in our strategic plan, the first of 4 is to promote healthy physician, healthy practice, healthy patients for all our members. That's really kind of an all-encompassing area of focus. It includes things like physician well-being. It includes things like providing practice resources for you, our members, so that ultimately you can take care of your patients. In the registration process, we didn't receive any questions in advance of the meeting, so that's why we've got a blank slide here. But some of the information that we do have to share with you, according to our annual membership survey, about 65% of our members are employed by health systems here in Wisconsin. We know that we're a very health system dominated state. You can see about 33% practice in the rural setting compared to 48% in an urban or suburban setting. So I mentioned well-being is one of the areas that falls under this area of focus. We've got a physician well-being work group that meets throughout the course of the year via phone conference or Zoom. That really kind of leads our efforts in this area. So They've been curating some well-being resources on our website. If you go to wafp.org and go to the healthy practice menu, there are a number of different resources there. Some well-being and burnout indexes, some webinars, everything from articles to some other some podcasts and subscription tools that you can use to really kind of help with your physician well-being. A lot of really great resources. We're continually updating that throughout the course of the year. If you've come across, if you have a story to share, whether that's a success story of, how you transform your practice or how you transform your personal well-being that you want to share, we encourage you to reach out. We're happy to share our member stories. You never know who you could be inspiring or motivating through your story. In the same token, if you've come across a resource that has helped you that you think would be good to share with your fellow members, we would be happy to share that on our website to add that to our list of resources. It could be an article, it could be an app that you use, whatever it is that you'd like to share, we'd be happy to help you with that. And we've also been promoting AFP's initiative, Physician Health First. That's their well-being work that they've done. A lot of other really great information there to kind of help supplement the stuff that we offer on our own website. So, any of those things that you want to reach out to or information you want to access will be available on our website. You'll see there's some hyperlinks in the slide deck here. We will post this on our website at the conclusion of the meeting, so you can go back through. You can follow some of those links to access some of that information directly. Another area that's kind of included here is to assist our members with their maintenance of certification and their maintenance of licensure. We do that through offering education opportunities, whether it's CME with our responsible opioids prescribing CME, or KSAs to help you with your board certification. We offered 3 virtual KSAs last year. One of those was on palliative care, which was the first time. It was a brand new topic. We were able to offer that right away. I see we've got a member question. I just want to open that up here. Can you comment on the percentage of employed physicians? In previous years, that was around 85%. It is probably closer to that 80-85%. That 65%, 66% we referenced earlier was just based on one of our member surveys. We know from looking at some other more broad data that is still around 85%. But the membership survey we got last year indicated a number of other physicians that were practicing in administrative roles as opposed to in clinical practice. We also had a higher response rate from physician members who serve at faculty in medical schools and residency programs as well. So kind of employed in practices, yes, more around 80-85%. So that'll bring us to our first poll question of the day. Madeline, you can launch that poll question. That'll pop up on screen here. And so in addition to responding to that poll that's now live on your screen, if you have any other questions that you want to submit via the chat, feel free to do so and we can answer those. All right, so we have heard from just about everybody on the webinar. We've heard from about 80% of you who are logged in, so thank you. So 57% said yes, we're meeting your needs in this area of focus. For those of you that aren't sure, I encourage you to check out our website or to reach out to us. We'd be happy to answer any questions you have or put you in touch with any other resources.
So actually, I'm going to interject briefly here. It has been a very difficult year for a large number of us. So I think ways that we can explore that further would be helpful for all of us, and then also for the people that we have to take care of. So we are welcome to input regarding that last question.
So moving into our next area of focus, that is to promote family medicine advocacy. Larry, do you want to kind of take us through this question?
All right, so the question is, with our government now paying over 50% of the medical care delivered in the country, and with Medicare and especially Medicaid currently paying less than the cost of delivery care, how are people handling this? What's our plan for the future? Well, this probably breaks down into a couple of different areas. One of the biggest issues that we have is that Medicaid here in the state of Wisconsin pays less than the Medicare rate. And so that's one of the things that we have been trying to address legislatively. We'd like to get that to 100%, but it's going to take a while to get there because of the financial situation of the state. It's also a major priority on the part of AAFP that they are also trying to help us with that as well. As far as the Medicare rates, that's something that's at a national level. Again, we're very much involved with helping or making contact with Wisconsin legislative people when AAFP is addressing this issue. But yes, this when you look at what is one of the major factors in people not seeking or getting medical care, it is because of the price and what they have to pay for. So yes, this is one of our priorities, something that we are looking at, something that we are addressing.
Tim, do you have anything to add?
Yeah, just to follow up on what Larry mentioned is that for the first time in a long time, more than a decade, it was roughly, I think, 2 years ago where there was an increase in roughly an 8% increase for certain codes which would cover family physicians in terms of the Medicaid rate. So we were successful in getting an increase, and we'll continue to try to reach more of a parity with the Medicare rate.
Great, thanks, Tim and Larry. In our member survey every year, advocacy is always rated as the #1 source of value that our members see, in terms of member value. So we continue to work very hard. We've got a legislative committee that meets monthly that's made up of all of our members who meet with our lobbying team to talk about the legislative issues that are working their way through the state, and they help us prioritize things and set positions. So if that's something you're interested in, we certainly encourage you to join the legislative committee. They meet once a month via phone conference. So it's very easy to participate. There's a lot of really great discussions that happen. And to help promote all of our advocacy work, we this year decided to incorporate a dedicated section in our newsletter to those advocacy updates. We've done that for a long time, but it used to be a standalone newsletter called Inside the Capitol. That was an opt-in. So we decided that with so much going on, all the really great work that we're doing in terms of advocacy, that we wanted to share that more broadly with all of our members. So we hope that you've seen that. We hope that information's been helpful and relevant to you, and maybe it'll encourage you to get involved.
And one of the things with advocacy is it's just so important for legislators to hear from our members and to hear from their constituents. And so one of the things, and we'll get to this in a minute here, but one of the things is speak out. And we have had, and Tim, if you want to jump in on this, that'd be fine. One of the things with the APN bill, we have had incredible response from our membership with Speak Out, and we think that there's been some impact that we've had with that. So it's those kinds of things. Yes, we're an organization, but when it comes to advocacy, it's the people in the districts communicating with their representatives that really have an impact. Tim, I don't know if you want to make a comment on that, but it's been pretty good during this last session.
Yeah, the speak out is really important because at the end of the day, our members who have have significant sphere of influence, when you make that contact with a legislator, it really does make a difference, and it causes them to pause, especially if they're undecided on an issue. So we really appreciate you as a volunteer leader using those speak outs when they happen. I'm hesitant to use them because your time is very valuable. But when we do send them, it's with clear purpose and a sense of urgency that it's extremely needed at that point in time. And so, as Brandon was also talking about the legislative committee, a very energetic group who came up with all kinds of ideas. But at the end of the day, it's your ideas that count, and that's why we take great efforts to do a legislative priority once a year, a survey where we can develop our legislative priorities based upon the feedback from our members. And so things do change over the course of a legislative session, but that's kind of our starting plays of what our legislative priorities are and how we can work with other organizations and coalitions to reach our legislative priorities and being able to represent our members. And then there's a number of different tools as well that we encourage people to participate on, whether it's our political action committee that is active, and we use those dollars to be able to identify legislators regardless of their political affiliation, if they're pro-family physician and the patients that you serve, as well as other opportunities include Doctor Day, which is coming up on February 8th, where all specialty practices get together and talk about issues that are really important to them, and then lobby the legislature. And by the way, the Doctor Day, family physicians are always head and shoulders above everybody else in terms of attendance. So again, kudos to our membership.
Tim, one of the things that or maybe Brandon too, one of the things that we find from talking with our members is that we have an awful lot of members that do participate in the legislative committee, but in the dialogue, the conversation, the recommendations, they are constantly making recommendations to the board of directors for positions that the academy should be taking, for advocacy efforts that we should be pursuing. So it really is a way in which the members are actively involved in the academy. And I think the board is very appreciative of these insights, of these ideas. And it's just, I don't know, Brandon, it just seems like every month we're bringing different positions that the academy should be taking to the board for approval.
Yeah, so like you said, there's a lot of great discussion. Tim can attest to how fast some things seem to move through the legislature. So there's always a very full, very robust agenda at that meeting, and a lot of really great work gets done at that committee. So that being said, if you do have any questions on any of that activity, feel free to send those to us, or things come up offline. Again, there's a number of links included in this slide that we'll share online that you can learn more. So Madeline, if you want to launch the next poll question, and certainly if anybody has any questions they want to type into the chat or raise their hand, please do. So we'll keep this poll active for about a minute total. So we appreciate your responses there. Or once we hear from about 75% of the people that are on the line. And we'll keep it open for about 15 or 20 more seconds. All right, Mandy, if you want to share the results of that poll. Great, 76% said yes, we are meeting your needs. Again, if you're not sure and you want to learn more, please reach out to us.
All right, our next area of focus is around nurturing and developing family physician leaders. There's been no questions submitted prior to the meeting for this area. We have done a recent survey regarding leadership with students with our WAFP members, and 39% of our practicing members do participate in a leadership role in their organization, group, or with their medical staff. And 68% of practicing members participate as a mentor or preceptor for students and residents. So this is very important. A lot of our impact as family physicians are on those individual levels. And so as an organization, WAFP certainly wants to continue to foster those relationships, support in any way that is helpful. This is certainly at an individual level a very important thing to continue. The WFP does have several organized committees to help promote our programming, facilitate ideas, and do very important work. So the active committees right now are the Legislative Committee, which has already been discussed, the Student and Resident Leadership Committee, which has been reorganized somewhat. I would like to point out that it doesn't need to just be student and residents there. We'd like to discuss ways to promote the pipeline for family physicians and family physician leaders. So we appreciate lots of different perspectives in that regard. We also have a health equity and anti-racism work group. That committee was formed in the last 2 years and is getting their feet off the ground and really want to include different perspectives. So we really would appreciate anybody who is interested joining and bringing their ideas to that group. And then our last group is the Physician Wellbeing Work Group. And I think from our first poll question, certainly there is room to grow. And so we appreciate that feedback. And if there's ideas about how WAFP can be supporting physicians better, especially around their well-being, we of course would like to do that. So this organization only runs through the input and collaboration from our members. And so we really appreciate anybody that is willing to help in those committees. That's how we run, and please let us know if you're interested. So I think we have another poll question here. So I think we'll let this run for a minute. Do the WAFP's activities to nurture and develop family physician leaders meet your needs as a member?
All right, you guys are doing awesome. You're an attentive group. We heard from 90+% of you, so we'll go ahead and close that poll down. Those results will pop up here on the screen momentarily. So yes, by and large, the group feels that this work we're doing there is worthwhile. So thank you for that. Our next area of focus is growing and maintaining a family medicine workforce. We didn't get any questions ahead of time, but Larry's got some survey data to walk us through.
Well, it's one of the things that we always are interested in looking at is you know, after working as a family physician, would you do it all over again? And so this is always one of our favorite questions to ask. 86% of the members who responded to the survey indicated that if they had to do it all over again, they would choose family medicine. We think that is absolutely fantastic. And 78% said that they do or would recommend to medical students to choose family medicine as their specialty. Even though the polls that we see show family medicine in lower 4 or 5 paid physicians, when you look at satisfaction in their job, they are always number 1 or number 2. And that really is I think, a compliment and to the members and the people that we have in this profession. 68% of the members surveyed said that they do serve as mentors or preceptors. I know we participate in a number of work groups out there in Wisconsin, and that is always a big issue for the schools and the residency programs, looking at the medical schools in particular, looking for mentors, looking for people to be able to do it with all of the pressure that must be on all of you to be able to agree to do this has to be very hard. We hear that there is a high level of appreciation for all that's being done with that, and hopefully we can continue to do that. It does make a difference I think in what members or what students choose as their specialty.
My turn?
Yes.
Thank you. Thank you, Larry. I'm going to back up to make a comment on the last slide. I always find, if you could do it all over again, but we really can't. I think the more telling question is, would you recommend a medical student choose family medicine? And still being at 78% is quite high, and that's very gratifying to see that. And then the number of us who mentor students and residents is just amazing. And the fact that we continue to do it through COVID, whereas many other situations, they put them on the sidelines, I think really speaks to your commitment to not only our care for patients, but the future of medicine. So let's move ahead. We had talked about some of the educational processes we've been doing. We continue to investigate other opportunities to lessen some of the regulatory requirements on our members. So your input on that will be helpful. We continue to give stethoscopes, although Dr. McStuffins, I think, already has taught all the kids what stethoscopes are. We continue to give those to the residents. We continue to advocate and encourage residents and students to take on national leadership roles. This obviously then moves forward into our involvement with the AFP at other leadership levels. And then the last thing is our Back to the Future. We've developed the Committee on Student and Resident Leadership Development, and we're trying to engage them and have them engage with each other without the senior members dominating the conversation, and allowing them really an opportunity to voice their thoughts and ideas, and to bring forward their innovative processes that we often overshadow. So I really thank Brandon for taking the leadership on that and moving that forward. I say Back to the Future because that was something that was done in the late 70s, early 80s, for those of you who are old enough to remember that those times existed. So,
Thanks, Brad. We've got another poll question for this area of focus that'll pop up here momentarily. So again, feel free to share your feedback, to vote, to send us questions or comments. And if no questions or comments come to mind right now, you can always contact us offline later on, and we'll be happy to follow up with you. How's that poll coming along? All right, we've heard from, again, the vast majority of you, so thanks for those quick replies. We'll have those results on the screen here momentarily. Yeah, again, 80% agree with the work that we're doing. So thank you for that feedback. You know, we'll continue to stay the course. We'll continue to offer new and exciting things for you, all of our members.
Next, I would like to recognize Alan Schwartzstein, who just completed his 6th year on the board of directors for the American Academy of Family Physicians as our speaker. Those of us who had the opportunity to see him in action were very impressed at his ability to handle some very contentious meetings at times. And maybe he didn't perceive it as such, but sitting in the audience, watching him keep a sense of calm and decorum and continue to provide unity within the organization at times when there was rather divisive dialogue really spoke volumes to his ability and his character as a person. So Alan, we thank you very, very much for all that you've given to the Wisconsin Academy and the American Academy of Family Physicians.
And with that, we'll turn it over to Becky, who's the Executive Director of the WAFP Foundation, for some highlights on their work.
Thank you, Brandon. The National Conference, which is the AFP conference designed for family medicine residents and medical students to learn more about family medicine, develop leadership skills, explore residency programs, and connect with potential employers. Since 2012, the foundation has raised about $234,000, funding nearly 400 students through scholarships to attend this conference. From that, 87% of those students have selected family medicine as their specialty, and we're very grateful to all our donors over the years who have donated funds to help make this program so successful. Due to the pandemic, the national conference was held virtually again in 2022, and we were able to provide scholarships to 13 Wisconsin students to participate in that way. Our goal is to send 50 students this year for the conference, which is planned in Kansas City. Another successful program from the foundation supports is WFP's annual family medicine residency program visits. Your Academy's leaders and executives visit all 17 Wisconsin programs and provide valuable information and conversation with residents about a variety of topics such as advocacy, maintenance of certification, and loan repayment opportunities. We provide stethoscopes for each visit to give away in a drawing, and residents who win are grateful for a new high-quality stethoscope and really seem to appreciate having a drawing and a little bit of fun at the end of the presentation and dialogue. We've seen a drop in donations over the course of the pandemic and received $19,000 in 2021. To put it in perspective, our typical donation numbers are generally closer to the 80,000 range on an annual basis. It's also a result of our conscious decision to slow down active fundraising efforts during this difficult time, to be respectful of all that's taken your time and attention in the last 2 years. And we hope to pick up opportunities for you to participate again and support each other through engagement with each other in small regional get-togethers that will be held safely. Hope you consider your continued support with either one-time gifts or by becoming a family medicine champion and supporter by signing up to Give Monthly. Next slide, please. And you can see here there are several ways to do so. Lastly, the quarterly drawings returned at the end of 2021. Since 2018, the foundation has raised over $40,000 through its quarterly drawings, and 100% of those donations went directly to support foundation programs, as with all your generous donations. The foundation is currently recruiting champions for 2022 drawings. We're looking for experiences such as outdoor adventure packages, at-home tasting experiences, weekend stay at a cabin or lake house, and all ideas are welcome. We've had some unique and fun experiences in the past, and we hope to offer those again this year. So please contact the foundation office if you'd like to donate. Thank you all for all that you do to serve your communities and patients, and thank you for your continued support to help ensure the future of family medicine in Wisconsin.
Thank you, Becky. I'll turn it back over to you, Rob.
Thank you, Brendan, and thank you, Becky. Yeah, supporting the foundation is just critically important to our future success. We have over 100 members who are involved in committees and different work groups. Over the course of the year of last year, we had over 60 different committee and work group meetings, which obviously keeps our executive staff busy trying to coordinate all that. But it's also hundreds of hours of physician time, and the fact that you've given that means an incredible amount to us. I mean, just incredibly valuable time. So having said that, we still need members to get involved, to stay active. It is really the best way to have your voice heard, both within the organization and beyond the organization. Plus, most of you, probably all of you, are very active in your community. So you serve as both the voice of your patients and communities to organize medicine, and in turn, you become the voice of the academy to the communities and people you serve. So, and if you are interested, and I'm sure you are, please contact Brandon, who seems to be the focal point of our emails. At this time, I would like to recognize our Family Physician of the Year, Rita Rafferty. She practices at Allina Health in River Falls. She's been a leader in practice in her community. She practices full scope family medicine. Another rural colleague, she does obstetrical care, inpatient care, volunteers an incredible number of positions and capacities. And I'll read her quote, although part of my screen is blocked. So she said, family medicine is about relationships. It is about meeting the needs of your patient and community in whatever way necessary. And again, she points out patients and community, and I think that's really what we're all about. So I'd like to thank Dr. Rafferty for all her time and service to her patients, community, and the academy.
And I'm just going to transition here. I do have a video message from Dr. Rafferty here that will play.
My name is Rita Rafferty, and I want to thank you for the honor of being chosen as the Wisconsin Academy of Family Physician of the Year. I am truly humbled by the recognition. I am much more of a storyteller than a speech maker, so I'm going to start with a story. I applied for medical school in the early 1990s. It was a time of uncertainty in medicine. There was serious talk about nationalized healthcare. People like to throw about terms like Hillary care and the all too familiar socialized medicine. My college advisors, knowing that my family was new to college, much less medical school, wanted to give me every advantage during my interview process. They gave me advice, set up mock interviews, coached me on what I should say and which topics to steer clear of. I had all of that spinning in my head as I waited my turn for my interview at the University of Minnesota. Needless to say, it didn't go as expected. I walked in and shook the hand of Dr. Adams, who would later lead our growth anatomy class. Glancing at my thin file, he said, "So, Ms. Schumann, I haven't read your file. I don't know your GPA, your MCAT scores, or where you went to college. Tell me about yourself." And so I did. I told him that I'm the fifth of 6 girls who were raised on a farm in southeastern Minnesota. I told him that I never dreamed of going to medical school. What I knew about medicine was mostly from brief visits to the clinic or the hospital when somebody was severely injured or ill. I knew of the kindness of our local family physician who would treat us in spite of the fact that he knew we had no medical insurance. I knew that my sister's appendectomy cost the price of the only cab tractor we ever had, then sold to pay the bills. Dr. Adams and I talked and laughed. We told farm stories, the funny and the tragic. We talked about struggle, poverty. I realize now that we talked about health equity. What we didn't talk about was anything that my well-intentioned college mentors had prepared me for. After a good 90 minutes, Dr. Adams' secretary was pounding on the door. "Dr. Adams, you're 30 minutes late for your next appointment." We both stood, and he looked at me square in the eye and said, "Well, Rita, are your grades and MCAT scores good enough to go to medical school?" Without hesitation, I replied, "Yes, sir. Yes, they are." The lesson I learned that day is that family medicine isn't always about what you know. Sometimes it's about who you are. Family medicine exemplifies the idea that medicine is about who we are as a person. After 20 years in practice, I also understand that family medicine is about who we are as part of our communities. I don't think I have to tell any of you that the last few years have been difficult. At the beginning of the pandemic, I felt a little lost. What is my role in this? I'm not an epidemiologist. I'm not an infectious disease or critical care specialist. Like many of my colleagues, I volunteered and prepared to help again with inpatient work or with the ER work should the need arise. But what else could I do? I'm just a family doctor. At the urging of my colleagues, friends, and patients, I began to write. I gave interviews for the city. I spoke with school board members, school principals, and superintendents. I discovered that people want to hear the thoughts of the doctors who live, work, and play in their community. They want to hear from the doctor who delivered their babies. They want to hear from the doctor who took care of their dad in the ER when he had his first heart attack, who helped them through the trials of breast cancer. People want to hear the voice of their family physicians. And I decided that my role during the pandemic was to meet people wherever they got their information, whether it was in a clinic, on social media, or over a barnyard fence. I found my voice in the community, and I like to think that my voice made a difference. So this is my hope for family medicine, that we all realize that our skills and experience matter. Our voices matter. Who we are matters. We are the front lines of health in our communities, and we should all be tremendously proud of that. Just as I am proud to receive this recognition from the people I am honored to call my peers and colleagues. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Rafferty. It's always so impressive and humbling to hear of someone's accomplishments such as hers. Next, we would like to recognize Dr. Schultz, Deborah Schultz, as our Family Medicine Educator of the Year. She is on faculty at Fox Valley Family Medicine Residency Program. She's been a multi-time Physician Mentor of the Year in the Fox Valley. She's a leader of residents within her program and within her community. So I'll quote now from Dr. Last, the program director. Her wisdom, skill, and subtle sense of humor are contagious and encourage residents, nursing staff, and students to strive for greatness in a way that more overt ways often fail. So, Brandon, did we receive?
Dr. Schultz expressed her great gratitude and humility and surprise to receive the award this year. She was very grateful. She declined the opportunity to submit a video. She wasn't available to participate in the meeting today, but she was very grateful and, like I said, very surprised and humbled at being recognized as Educator of the Year. It wasn't something she expected. So she was very grateful to those that nominated her and to all of her colleagues from across the state. So she just wanted me to pass on that note of thanks.
And I'm going to give this, I'm going to take this opportunity to give a shout out to all our residency faculty. I don't think that those of you who are residency faculty get nearly the credit nor the respect that you deserve for training our next generation of family physicians and just the incredible amount of perseverance, diligence, and creativeness you've had to employ to bring our residents through the last 2 years of a medical crisis in this country. So I think Dr. Schultz epitomizes the care, concern, and skills that all of you put forth every day. So thank you, Dr. Schultz, and thank you all our family medicine educators. Now we're moving closer to people I can relate with better. Our Lifetime Achievement Award, Dr. Walker, although his credentials just leave me so humbled. 44-year career in Menominee, which in general is just one of the most awesome groups in the state, if you know some of their past and current members. He delivered over 2,500 babies and dozens of the babies of babies, which is just really an incredibly rewarding thing to do. He served on missions in 6 countries, and he's trained people in maternity care. I don't know if he uses the ALSO curriculum, but that was developed in Wisconsin and has saved countless lives throughout the world. So he is a great ambassador for Wisconsin medicine and family medicine in Wisconsin. And Brandon, I do believe you have something from Dr. Walker, do you not?
I do.
To be named a recipient of the Lifetime Achievement Award by the Wisconsin Academy of Family Physicians is a great honor. Blessed is the word that I usually use to describe my career as a family physician. Prioritizing my faith and my family have always been goals of mine. My Christian faith is the driving force for my life, and in my interactions with staff and patients, I tried to live out one of Mother Teresa's statements when she said, "Every face I look into, I see the face of Jesus." As far as family is concerned, I definitely married up. My wife, Patty, is my wife for 51 years, and still the love of my life and my greatest supporter. We're blessed with 3 children, all of whom have great families, and we have 10 grandchildren we can brag about. The fact that my son and one of my son-in-laws chose careers in family medicine to me is an affirmation of our specialty. I practiced my entire 44 years in Menominee, Wisconsin, first as a partner in Red Cedar Clinic and subsequently as an employee of Mayo Clinic Health System. Practicing in a small community allowed me to do the full spectrum of family medicine, including emergency room and my special love of obstetrics. I was privileged to deliver more than 2,250 babies during my career. And my career gave me opportunities in other areas as well. I was able to serve as the team physician for the Menominee High School football team and coach Joe Labuda. That led to a special experience of being on the sidelines at Camp Randall for 6 or so state championship games. And I was also privileged to be the medical director for the free clinic of the greater Menominee area for 11 years, helping to provide care for patients in our community who did not have insurance or were underinsured. In the last 9 years, I've had an opportunity to go to the Democratic Republic of Congo to teach. I work with an organization called the Paul Carlson Partnership. That organization is special to me because Paul Carlson was a medical missionary in 1964 who
was captured by Congolese rebels and subsequently killed. It was his story that stimulated me to become a doctor. Medical conditions in Congo I describe as incomprehensible. Neonatal tetanus still exists. It was the most dangerous place in the world to deliver a baby when we started going there. And even term newborn babies who weren't breathing were put aside to die because they did not know how to resuscitate babies and did not have ambu bags to do so. Our approach is to teach. We use a train-the-trainer approach where we train Congolese health professionals to train the other doctors and nurses in the system, and so that they can go out and take the training to the rest of the people who serve 1.2 million people. I am specifically working with a maternal health focus group and have taught things like bleeding after birth, preeclampsia and eclampsia, and preterm labor. And it's working. Maternal and neonatal mortality are dropping. My pediatric colleague from Maine says we are a group of people growing older together, doing perhaps the most significant work of our medical careers. I love family medicine. It's a privilege to have been able to provide care for and be a part of the lives of families over the last 44 years, sometimes fourth generation. I'm truly blessed. Thank you for this award. Wow.
That is so incredibly amazing. And thank you, Dr. Walker. The only thing that crosses my mind is why we didn't recognize him sooner for this, but it's just humbling and awesome to see someone accomplish so much, provide so much care. I think at this point, I'm going to turn it over to Dr. Schwartzstein.
All right, we will unmute Dr. Schwartzstein, Dr. Fortney, and Dr. Podine here just momentarily. We will let you know when we've got that done and are ready to turn it over.
Thank you, Rod and Brandon. Can you hear me?
Yes, Alan, we do hear you. We're just getting the other two unmuted here in just 1 second. I see we've got Luke successfully unmuted, and there's Ryan as well. So Alan, go ahead.
Thank you. Good afternoon, everybody. Would Doctors Luke Fortney and Ryan Podine please virtually stand, raise your right hand, and repeat after me. As a fellow of the American Academy of Family Physicians,
as a fellow of the American Academy of Family Physicians,
I promise to dedicate myself to the principles upon which our academy was founded.
To
providing comprehensive lifelong care to my patients. To exemplifying the highest traditions of my profession. And to enhancing my professional skills. Through continuing medical education. I pledge my commitment to improving the health of my patients. Their families and communities. And to advancing the specialty of family medicine. Now and in the future. Congratulations, Dr. Podine and Fortney. Would everyone in attendance please virtually show your appreciation to these new AFP fellows?
Thank you.
And thank you both, and thank you, Dr. Schwartzstein.
Brandon, I think, could you share with us the WAFP operations?
Yes, so just kind of a little bit of a snapshot about the Academy and kind of, what we've got going on. We've got just over 2,900 members, which puts us in the category of a large AFP chapter. Chapters are grouped small, medium, large, and extra large. We're on the high side of large. We're close to being an extra large chapter. In terms of membership count, we are about the 14th largest state chapter. Based on that membership count, we operate on about a $750,000 budget every year. And so you can see, based on the number of communications we send you, we've got a lot of really great stuff going on in the chapter. I hope you've gathered that from our messaging today. And like I've said a few times, if you want to learn more, please reach out to us. Please check out our website, wafp.org. We put a lot of thought into what we send you. We want to make sure that it's timely, that it's relevant, that it's helpful member communication. So we appreciate that you guys read all of your emails, and we're thankful for all the engagement that we get from you. And we're always looking for new ideas. So if there's something that you think we can do to help you or to help our members across the state, please reach out to us and share that with us. We'd be happy to do so.
Brandon, it's really true that every email that we send out, every single member reads it, right?
Yeah, we get a lot of really great feedback. We're happy to see that the information we provide is of value to you. So we hope you feel that way, and we hope we can continue to provide that value for you. Rod, I'll turn it back over to you.
Thank you. First, I'd like to recognize our outgoing board members. It's an incredible amount of talent and experience that we're seeing move along, and we expect into other roles within the Academy. It includes Sabina Singh, Lisa Dodson, Danielle Grindelsberger, Jim Slauson, Susan Gale, Mike Mazzone, and Taylor Boland. And then our outgoing president is Beth, who has done a wonderful job. She's got big shoes to fill. I don't intend to even try, but hopefully those around me can keep me from doing too much damage. I think we'll let Beth introduce our new officers and directors.
All right, our president-elect is Eric Stater, first vice president Beth Menzel, second vice president Robert Sedlick, and treasurer Jean Rilkelme. So we've worked with these folks for quite a while, and we are looking forward to all of their hard work in the coming years. So thank you.
And now we'd like to introduce the slate of officers and directors. New directors are Sabrina Hoffmeister, Hector Lopez, Tom Joles. Sorry, Tom, if I mispronounced it. Meg Corey, Sarah Hodevy, Jesselyn Hendrickson, and Josh Matsky. Our new delegate will be Robert Sedlacek. Sorry, Robert, I used the Iowa pronunciation, and Joe Gravel. So those are our proposed slate. I would call for nominations from the floor. Call for nominations from the floor. Are there any other nominations for board member or officers and directors?
All right, so the poll to approve the new board members is live on your screen. Just like earlier, we'll keep that open for about a minute or until we've heard from everybody. And responses coming in relatively quickly, so thank you for being on top of it. All right, we've heard from about 75%. We'll keep it open here for about 15 more seconds. And last call to vote, and we'll close that. You can go ahead and close that poll. We have it from just about everybody. And there was also that poll you can see on screen. 96% approved the new slate, 4% abstained. So thank you guys all for that vote. Thank you to our outgoing leaders for your service, and welcome to our newly elected officers and directors.
Thank you very much. And thank you, Brandon, for leading us through that. I knew if we'd let Eric vote, somebody would abstain, but so next, I think we turn it over to Dr. Schwartzstein again.
I'll have you unmuted momentarily here. All right, Alan, you are unmuted.
Thank you, Brandon and Rod. By the power invested in me by the American Academy of Family Physicians Board of Directors, I will now recite the oath of office and leadership to the aforementioned recently elected officers. And point of personal privilege, it's nice to see Jane McCallum back investing her time on the board. Your peers have selected you for leadership positions in the Wisconsin Academy of Family Physicians in recognition of your demonstrated service, initiative, and ability. You are entrusted with preserving the traditions of your chapter, upholding the principles of family medicine, and fulfilling your obligations to the Wisconsin and national academies. Family physicians are responsible for providing state-of-the-art, personalized healthcare and representing our patients in a rapidly changing healthcare environment. The Academy and your peers have placed great trust in you to keep those we serve uppermost in your thoughts and actions. We salute your energy, commitment, and integrity. I personally want to thank you for your dedication to serving your peers and patients. I challenge you to continue the fine leadership traditions of the Wisconsin chapter while providing innovative leadership. Congratulations. Would everyone please welcome your new leaders with your virtual applause.
Thank you, Alan, for conducting that induction. As Alan said, welcome to our new officers and directors. We're excited to work with you, and our members are grateful for your service.
Brandon, would you like me to proceed with the installation of the president?
Please.
Rod, or I suppose I should say officially, Dr. Erickson, would you please step forward virtually? The membership of the Wisconsin Academy of Family Physicians has chosen you, Rod Erickson, for the role of president in recognition of your dedication, vision, and leadership. Effective leadership can seem complicated. It often involves walking a fine line between encouraging and directing. Individually, we all seek the right combination to allow us to lead without overwhelming. Our specialty, family medicine, cultivates individual leadership. By virtue of the demands of our specialty, we are comfortable taking on more than most people. We are family physicians because we want to make a difference in the lives of our patients, their families, and our communities. Dr. Erickson, the Academy and your peers have placed great trust in you as their leader. I personally salute your energy, commitment, and integrity. Please raise your right hand and repeat after me. As president of the Wisconsin Academy of Family Physicians,
As president of the Wisconsin Academy of Family Physicians,
I recognize the trust my peers have placed in me
I recognize the trust my peers have placed in me
by electing me to this position.
by electing me to this position.
I am committed to serve the specialty of family medicine,
I am committed to serve the specialty of family medicine,
the state and national academies,
the state and national academies,
and our members and patients,
and our members and patients with professional and creativity.
I resolve to honor this trust and commitment
I honor to resolve this trust and commitment
by devoting myself to upholding and maintaining
by devoting myself to upholding and maintaining
the dignity and official responsibilities of my elected officer.
the dignity and official responsibilities of my elected office.
Would you please join me in welcoming Dr. Rod Erickson, your duly installed president of the Wisconsin Academy of Family Physicians. Congratulations, Rod.
Well, thank you very much. I truly am very humbled and look forward to the opportunity to serve so many outstanding physicians. We are now going to review or preview our 2021 strategic plan. Larry or Beth, do you want to start that off?
Beth, is that okay? I can just walk through this quickly.
Yes, thanks.
All right. And I think Brandon mentioned it earlier, we are, this is the third year of our 3-year strategic plan. The board did go through a process of making some, or overviewing this and making some changes. So basically, it's 3 areas of focus. First, 4 areas of focus. The first is to promote healthy physicians, healthy practice, healthy patients for all members. And you can see there that there are 3 goals and a number of activities under each of those goals that we will be pursuing. The second area of focus is to promote family medicine advocacy. And as Brandon and Tim have said, that always ranks as the number one thing that the members expect from us. And again, we have 3 different goals there, a couple of activities. Many of them are being carried over from the previous year. The third area of focus is to nurture and develop family medicine leaders. That has been something that has been very important to us for all of these years. We have done, I think, a good job. You can just tell from all of the people that we have had on the board and leadership and also involved in AAFP. There are 2 goals there. You can see that those are things that we have been working on and will continue to work on. And we've added in the last couple of years addressing inequities and racism, and we hope that that will be something to move forward as well. The fourth area of focus is to grow and maintain a family medicine workforce. Very, very important, very, very hard. We've got a lot of different people helping us with this, a lot of different organizations, a lot of fingers in the pot. You can see the 3 goals there. Again, probably one of the most challenging is working with the goal of AAFP to have 25% of students select family medicine, and to do that in the next 7 years. So these are all things that you will see and hear from us over the next year. We appreciate all of the input, all of the help, all of the support that all of you are giving. Again, that's what's going to be guiding us, and we'll be moving forward with that. The other thing that we addressed during the annual business meeting is whether or not there are any changes to our bylaws. There are none being proposed this year. You're welcome. We also present if there's any dues increase. There is none being proposed. Once again, you are welcome. And the next item, Brendan.
Yeah, just a quick little bit of context in terms of our dues. We are the 14th largest state chapter. Our current dues are around 20th highest, so we try to keep those numbers pretty similar. We think that, you know, reflects the value of everything we're doing for you as a member. So it's been a number of years since we've had a dues increase, and so we don't, as Larry said, have any plan for next year. Next up is just a call for resolutions. As you saw in our board roster, we have 2 delegates and 2 alternate delegates to the AFP Congress of Delegates. That is AFP's policymaking body. They do that through resolutions that state chapters submit. So you can submit resolutions to us that you would like our board and our delegates to consider bringing forward to AAFP. You can submit those to us, and we'll vet those through our process and work with you on those. The deadline to submit those resolutions to us is July 1st. That'll give us a little bit of lead time to kind of formulate and formalize those and get those approved by our board before they are due to AAFP for consideration at their Congress of Delegates in September. And that will basically conclude the meeting. There's a couple of dates on here that I do want to make everybody aware of, ask you to mark your calendar. Dr. Day this year is going to be happening virtually, and that is February 8th, so just about a week and a half from now. There will be some great presentations made, a lot of good discussion planned for that day. You can register at wi.drday.org. And then we've got some more information will be coming soon. We are going to be offering a responsible opioids prescribing webinar CME course. We'll continue to do that through 2023, which is the next renewal cycle for that education.
But Brandon, just so that everybody knows, it's a course, it's not opioids, right?
Correct.
Okay.
We did also start in 2021 offering that as an on-demand option for enduring CME credit. That does still meet the state requirement if you choose to do it that way. We'll continue to make that available as an on-demand option as well. And then we've got 2 virtual KSAs that are planned for this fall, one on October 16th, the other on November 20th. So mark your calendars for those. Details, including the topics, are coming soon.
So before we completely adjourn, I apologize that we've run over. I realize I owe you all a lunch now, so I would invite you to join me sometime this summer for a regional bike ride, and I will repay your lunch.
Thank you, Raj. So that will officially conclude our annual business meeting for this year. Thank you all for joining us. Keep an eye on your email inboxes here shortly for a brief meeting eval survey. We appreciate your feedback. We appreciate all the questions and comments you submitted over the course of the meeting or ahead of time so that we can answer them during the meeting. Feel free to reach out to us at any point. My email is plastered throughout the presentation. It'll be information will be posted to our website following the meeting as well. So thank you all for joining us and have a great weekend.
Thanks, everybody.
Thank you all.